Anyone who knows this game, they know exactly what's about to come out here. I have one shot at winning this. That's going for a double protect. And as you see right there, we got that double protect, baby. And that means as long as we hit this, please connect with this Bleak Windstorm.
So here is my top 8 game. Now, this matchup on paper seemed extremely hard because there is a Chin Pao combined with the Miracle Seed Rillaboom. Now, I played this in practice earlier on in the same day in one of my VGC Corner tournaments, and I kind of got blown back. What they did is just let Chin Pao next to Rillaboom, and they just kind of just spammed Grassy Glide plus Ice Spinner / Sucker Punch into literally everything, and it was just very annoying to deal with. However, I learned from that game. I could technically just lead Goldango and Terra Steel make it rain. Normally that'd be good, right? But the only problem is that Andy here has a Heatran, which they can always switch into if I lock myself into Terra Steel make it rain. So it's just it's a headache. It's just such a headache to navigate through. But we are getting right into the game. So, as we can see, Andy here led with Chin Pao and Dragonite, which was not what I was expecting. I was expecting a Rillaboom. Inside my head, I'm like, great, this is just a free Tailwind and a Make It Rain. Now, the one thing which did kind of come to my head was I was worried that a Heatran might come, switch in or something, but either way, I was kind of okay with getting that because if Heatran did come in, then at least something is going to take this Make It Rain because Dragonite is Choice Banded, so that will definitely take it, and the Chin Pao will have to take it as well. But Chin Pao did actually opt to go for Protect, and I remember this Make It Rain went on to the Dragonite, and then Dragonite went for a Stomping Tantrum. Thanks to the Sword of Ruin that was able to one-hit knock out my Goldango. So I traded my Goldango for around 70% on this Dragonite, which may not seem like a good deal, but the thing is, I'm kind of out with a choice here. I could either go Fluttermane or Urshifu. Now that I have decided I'm going to go with Urshifu, the reason for this is that there was a Heatran inside the back, and if I went into Fluttermane, then I created a board where I cannot punish the Heatran for coming in. So I figured that going for a Surging Strikes into this Chin Pao is very, very safe, and then it will allow me to get off this Bleak Wind, which will probably knock out the Dragonite, and if it doesn't, worst case, it's just locked into Stomping Tantrum, so I don't really care about that. So I figured this would be a very safe play by clicking Surging and Bleak Wind. Now Rillaboom does come in, and this Rillaboom is a little bit of a threat to my Urshifu, right? Because it could Grassy Glide me. If I'm not careful, it might be able to sneak off a Wood Hammer. So I just decided to Protect. Now, I am holding the Covert Cloak on my Tornadus, which is very cool here because basically I know for a fact that this Dragonite is not going to be going for the Stomping Tantrum anymore because my Urshifu, it's the Sitting Duck, it's not doing anything. So I decided to go for the Bleak Wind plus the Detect, and this Rillaboom cannot touch my Tornadus. So I was like, great, except for the fact that they also just matched me with their Protect. You just saw there, and they swapped in their Heatran. Very, very good play from them. Now I'm kind of thinking like, okay, well, at least I can Surging Strikes into this Heatran. However, it's just a big headache because they could theoretically go for a Terra Grass on their Rillaboom and knock me out with a Miracle Seed boosted Grassy, a Grassy Glide. So that's why I decided to, as you saw right there, switch out into my Fluttermane. So this Grassy Glide does not knock me out, and then I can force it into a 50-50 where I click Bleak Wind, and then I can either Protect or I can go for the attack. So I just quickly sack off my Fluttermane. So there is a Terra there, and inside of my head, this just kind of confirms that they did go for that Grassy Glide play that I was talking about earlier. However, I am going to be losing my Fluttermane. Now, the 50-50 I was talking about earlier will come up right after this turn. But before we get into that, this turn does play out. My Bleak Wind does connect on Rillaboom, does a good amount of damage, 2 it KOs it, Flash Cannon comes out from Heatran, leaves me at about half HP, and now I am left with my only 2 Pokemon. Tailwind expires, you see, my Urshifu and my Tornadus. So now that 50-50 I was talking about. So as you can see, there is a Rillaboom, which threatens my Urshifu. But I have a Tornadus, which threatens their Rillaboom. So the question is, do I protect my Urshifu, or do I attack? I decided to go for the Protect, expecting them to go for the Grassy Glide into my Rillaboom. I also decided to go for a Terra Steel on my Tornadus, anticipating a Flash Cannon to come out here. So now the only question is, do they protect their Rillaboom or do they attack? They protected. I was so sad whenever I saw this, and I was like, welp, they got me. I lost this game. Especially if they click Heat Wave, right? Wrong. They did end up going for Flash Cannon. That is exactly what I was hoping to catch with this Terra Steel. So it looks like a very bad game. However, I have one single shot of winning this game. Now, if anyone who knows this game, they know exactly what's about to come out here. I have one shot of winning this. That's going for a double protect. So I decided to full send it. I'm going for the Hail Mary, praying we get that double protect. And as you see right there, we got that double protect, baby. You know what that means? That means that Grassy Glide is not doing any damage. And that means as long as we hit this, please connect with this Bleak Windstorm. We connect it. It connects on the Rillaboom. Knock out that Rillaboom. Now we have a Heatran and a Dragonite that will be up against my Urshifu. However, it is not over yet because they could either click Aerial Ace or Extreme Speed. Aerial Ace knocks me out, but Extreme Speed moves first. So I have to guess if they're clicking E-Speed or Aerial Ace. I decide that they're going to go for the E-Speed, so I try to knock out the Heatran, knowing that I should be able to survive 2 Extreme Speeds after a Grassy Terrain recovery. That is exactly what I was looking for. So you see that Extreme Speed damage. I'm going to have a turn of Grassy Terrain to recover this off, knock out the Heatran before it can even move, and now as long as there's no critical hit, this first game should be about wrapped up. There's only one play that I can click here, Surging Strikes, and they do not get the critical hit, so that means that this Surging Strikes will be able to knock out, and I am up 1-0 in my top 8 set. So I was feeling pretty good about that last game, but not really too good because it did end up coming down to if I got the double protect or not. However, I was able to get the reads I needed to win combined with that luck. So, you know, it's luck plus strategy inside this game. And honestly, I did feel pretty good about it outside of the little bit of luck I was handed. That being said, adjusting in the game too, I realized that like Tornadus, I just didn't like it. It just did not quite do what I was looking for it to do, at least as a lead, because it's very good at beating the Rillaboom, but if they're not leading the Rillaboom, then it's just an empty slot. It's kind of just sitting there. So I decided to hard call they're not going to lead with Rillaboom. Now, what this Urshifu Goldango lead accomplishes, as you're about to see here, is that if they lead any combination of Pokemon that's not Rillaboom, I'm able to just kind of overwhelm them so easily on this turn 1. So if you can read a board state, you could totally tell I'm in a great position right now. I'm able to set myself up for a double knockout if they allow me to by going for Surging Strikes into Heatran and then a Terra Steel Make It Rain / Steel Beam into this Giraffe. Now, the opponent does try to salvage this board by switching out into their Surging Strikes resist, which as you can see right here is an Urshifu, but that is not going to stop the Steel Beam that is coming out onto this Giraffe. We do connect, so this Steel Beam of Death is going to delete this Giraffe from absolute existence, and we are up 4-3. The opponent does reveal that they have Chin-Pao as their last because we saw Heatran in the early parts of the game, and I'm just looking at this like, oh, this is awesome. That is a Surging Strike Pokemon because I know the spread I'm using should pick up majority of Chin-Pao with this Surging spread, or with this Surging Strikes, as long as they're not using some kind of bulk or something on their Chin-Pao, it's their Focus Sash, so I was presuming they were not, so I am feeling very good. All I need to do is keep my Goldango, not Goldango, all I have to do is keep my Urshifu alive for the Heatran in the back, and I should be able to close this out. As I am rewatching this, I did kind of leave myself open to losing here. So we know it's a Scarf Urshifu. However, if they had clicked maybe like a close combat plus a Sacred Sword into my Urshifu, that would have picked up, and then I would have lost my Urshifu. Yeah, I could have Tailwinded and then gotten a free switch into my Flutter Mane. So it wasn't the end of the world, but I just kind of left myself open. However, we do pick up that knockout, just like I was saying earlier, and now we know it is Heatran and Urshifu up against my Urshifu, and I have Tailwind pressure, so this game is pretty much all wrapped up. You can see me just clicking Tailwind, Surging Strikes, just kind of looking in this game, but the opponent does end up forfeiting, and we win the set 2-0.